This morning, we are taking control of our finances. Oftentimes, we procrastinate and try to avoid the inevitable when it comes to getting our affairs in order. And our next guest says that procrastination is dangerous to your wealth. Here to help us out today is David Phillips, CEO of Estate Planning Specialist and author of Estate Planning Made Easy. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Now, you say that it is a pretty bad idea to procrastinate. We really should get our affairs in order now to avoid problems in the future, right?
Well, I mean, the inherent problem is if we don't have a plan, the government steps in and has a plan for us, and it generally isn't the plan that we would like. And then at a time when we want to create unity and love, we end up creating hatred and envy and jealousy. She wanted me to have it. No, she wanted me to have it. And so you have the family feud. And you can avoid that by properly planning before.
And by not procrastinating. Now, one thing that is great that you're offering right now, you have this great pamphlet that is the 10 most common estate planning mistakes. And we're going to tell viewers in just a few minutes how they can get a copy of this for free. You talk about 10 in the pamphlet, but you have some key mistakes that we want to focus on this morning. What are the 3 key mistakes that people make?
Well, the first one, of course, is not having a plan. 70% of all Americans don't have a plan. The second one is not properly preparing for the distribution of your assets to the next generation, and that really is key. And you want to make sure that you have enough insurance, life insurance, to replace your income should it be lost, no matter if you're a breadwinner or a homemaker. It doesn't really matter. You need to have enough insurance, and make sure that your insurance policies are named, the beneficiaries are correct. The third biggest mistake that we're seeing right now is not preparing for the exorbitant cost of long-term medical care.
Wow, that's something we'll get to in a second. Let's talk about your first one, people failing to plan or either having antiquated plans. Why is that? How do we change this?
Well, obviously, time goes on. We do something, and then we forget about it. 10 years pass, 20 years pass, and we haven't really updated it. Laws change, our circumstances change, and we need to update and make sure that our plans are exactly the way we want. For example, was reviewing an estate the other day, and the gentleman had his ex-wife as the beneficiary of his IRA. It's a bad mistake. I mean, his wife of 20 years would have been out of the plan entirely had he passed away. So you need to make sure that everything's up to date and in accordance with the new laws. And we are going to see some significant law changes this year, so we need to make sure that our plans are proper.
And that people are prepared for those changes. What about life insurance? What do people need to know about life insurance in order to make sure that they have handled theirs or are handling theirs properly?
Well, first of all, make sure the beneficiaries are correct on policies that you do have. But most Americans are underinsured. They're only of those that have insurance, only 45% have insurance, and of those that do, they're only insured for 2.7 times annual income. That's bad. I mean, it should be around 8 to 10 times income, and it's very affordable. That's the thing that really blows my mind. And I think the other thing that's very critical is that if you are not a breadwinner, that your services be replaced, because obviously it's going to cost. There's a recent study by Harvard, over $100,000 to replace a homemaker.
To replace that homemaker
annually.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare for that, obviously.
And then long-term care, that was something you mentioned, and a lot of people don't necessarily think about the numbers, and I want to read some statistics. I read that 65% of all Americans age 65 and over will require long-term care at some point in their lives at an average cost of $80,000 a year. And this was the one that really alarmed me. 40% of Americans receiving long-term care are under the age of 65. That's really scary. What should we do to prepare for this? Because it sounds like a lot of us are going to end up in that situation.
Well, sure. And obviously try to have enough assets to take care of that, but then you don't really want your assets to go toward that necessarily. You'd rather pass your fortune or whatever you have to your family rather than pass it to a long-term care facility or whatever. Yeah. So obviously the key is long-term care insurance. I'm not a real big fan of long-term care insurance, however, because it's an expense and it's a use it or lose it proposition. I really like the new kind of concept called asset-based care planning, where you take an asset that you have, a liquid asset that you have, and you transfer it from your left pocket to your right pocket, and then you have this asset that is yours. It's still there, it's still on your balance sheet, but then it provides a long-term care benefit that explodes 6 times its value should you ever trigger it. If you never trigger the benefit, which is our goal. I mean, I don't want to trigger that benefit.
Sure.
I'd rather just pass away in my easy chair at 85, you know, after watching a ball game or whatever with my kids and saying, I'll see you on the other side. You know, I don't want the tubes and whatever. If you don't use it, your family gets the benefit.
Wow. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it is huge. It's huge. It's called asset-based care planning, and it's on our website. They can go to our, you know, your listeners, your viewers can go to the website and order. There's 2 reports there, the Optimum Wealth Protector and the Annuity Long-Term Care Combo. Those 2 plans are the premier plans currently being offered today.
Great information this morning, and you made this all accessible and easy to understand. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So glad you were our guest. Now, if you would like more information about this topic, or if you would like a free copy of the booklet, The 10 Most Common Estate Planning Mistakes, just visit the website epmez.com.